guys, it's Haley and welcome back to my crochet corner. In this video, so first things first guys, market season is rolling back into it. It's almost the end of August going into September, which means we're gonna be doing markets more. Me personally, I didn't do any markets during the summer because I live in Florida in the heat and I didn't want to melt. But it's going into September, October, November, December. And that's like prime market season in my opinion. So I thought it would be a great idea to give you guys like a market related video, like how to find markets, what to bring, how much inventory, like what to expect at a market, all of that jazz. Like I'm also going to be sharing with you guys some of my favorite market prep patterns, some of my best sellers and all of that. So I just want to do like an informative video about markets to give you guys the breakdown. Like if you guys haven't done markets, and maybe you're having your first market during the fall, maybe you haven't done a market in a while, or maybe you do markets but want to see if I have any other tips and tricks to offer that you can apply. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. I think we're going to start off with like how to find markets, like what to bring to markets, and then we're going to go into like, you know, everything else I mentioned. But if you guys are new here, hi, I'm Haley. I have a Crochet Small Business. I sell online and I've also been doing markets almost for a year now. I started last fall doing markets and I've done about, I think maybe 8 or 9 markets now. So I have quite a little bit of experience. I wouldn't call myself an expert or anything, but I do have a little bit of experience on that. But if you guys are subscribed, thank you for coming back. If you guys aren't subscribed, take a minute, stop, go down below, like click out of the video, go down below, click the subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notified every time I post, and then come back. Okay, so now that you're back, hey guys, so like I can't with myself sometimes, but yeah, let's just get straight into the video. All right, so step 1, how to find markets. This is gonna be the most basic answer, guys, but it's true, like there's no other way. So my answer is gonna be literally go into Google, guys. Go into Google and search markets near me, markets in the town you live in, maybe a market in like towns like around the town you live in, and just quite blank, simple, you're gonna find stuff. For me, it's easier for me because I do live in a big city where there's constantly markets. If you guys don't know, I live in Orlando, Florida, so I'm pretty lucky when it comes to markets. The only disadvantage is if you do live in a bigger town where there are lots of markets, they're highly competitive. So when you're finding markets, let's say you go and you do your search and you find a market, but the market isn't until like, let's say it's August and the market isn't until like November or December. Chances are you need to apply now. For markets, at least like bigger markets, even like smaller markets, there is an apply, like there's an application and there will be a deadline. And if you apply after the deadline, there's a chance you won't get in, you'll be put on the wait list. So let's say you do your search and you find a market, oh, like this is awesome, but it's not now. Make sure you look into it because most markets have applications that you need to do. So for me, I live in a bigger city, so it's easier for me to find markets, but it's a little bit harder to get into markets where I'm at just because there's so many people applying. So, but overall, first, how to find markets, generally go into Google, search markets near me, markets in my city, markets in nearby cities. That's honestly the best route to go about it. I know also there's like, you can join like, I've heard other people like join like Facebook groups and then you can chat and find different markets and all of that. But also here's another tip. If you guys are at a market, ask your vendor neighbors, ask them about what other markets they've done, what markets they recommend, just like to like, you know, get an idea if you're like newer. I've definitely done this and heard so much stuff from other people, and that's honestly such a good resource, is asking others at these events as well. I also wanted to add like a few things to like the last thing we just talked about. So when it comes to markets, craft shows, like festivals, whatever you're applying to, one, like I mentioned, there will be an application and there most likely will be like a deadline to apply. And with that comes, there's different kinds of markets, like I guess different types, and then according to that, there's different fees. So if you guys don't know, you guys can have like one-day markets where you go, you set up the day of, or a lot of the times you can set up the day before, and you'll go, you'll set up, be there one day, then you'll break down, take everything home, and you're done. Then there's markets that could be 2 days where you have to go back for 2 days, or there's even like 3-day markets. I've heard people do 4-day markets. That's crazy. But there's different length markets. Typically, the most popular 1-day, 2-day, and 3-day. I've done a bunch of 1-day markets. I've only done 2-day markets. But I'm just gonna say 2-day markets are a lot more stressful than 1-day markets, just because it's just like inventory. Like, you have to have inventory for 2 days, and then you never know how the first day is gonna go, and it's just like, you know. But I really enjoy 1-day markets. I also enjoy 2-day markets. They just give me a little bit more stress. And 2-day markets are also 2-day and like 3-day markets. The fee is higher because obviously you're there for 2 days. So I can give you guys some like fees that I've applied for 1-day and 2-day markets. So for 1-day markets, I think I paid 50, 60, 80. I think those are like the what I've paid for 1-day markets, depending on the location, who's hosting the market. That depends also on that fee. But yeah, I paid like 50, 60, 80. Yeah. Then for 2-day markets, these ones are more expensive. I think I've only done 2-day markets, and I think for both of them I paid around $300, I believe. Yeah, I think I paid like $275 to like $300 after like fees and like all that stuff. But yeah, 2-day markets are definitely a lot more expensive, but once again, you are paying for 2 days to be there, so it like honestly, you know, works out in a way. But yeah, guys, so let's move on to the next topic. Next up, we have what to bring to market. So I'm going to give you guys a rundown of what I bring to markets. I have one of my first ever YouTube videos. You guys should definitely check that out for like more detailed. But I have a YouTube video of me like actually going out and buying stuff for like my first ever market, and I give you guys exactly where I got everything, prices for everything. I have a whole video. Definitely you guys should go check that out if you're interested in how I like build my market setup and stuff. It's a little different now, but that's the same stuff I use now to this day. But I'm gonna give you just a general, what are you gonna need to bring at a market. So let's say you're classic, you have a market booth, 10 by 10 spot is what I bring. So first, you're gonna need your tent. You're gonna need a 10 by 10 tent. Some tips for tents that I recommend. There's different like, I guess, sets you can buy for tents, but I highly recommend you get a tent that has straight legs. There's a lot of tents that have like tilted, slanted legs. Don't do those. Make sure your tent has straight legs. Then your tent is also going to come with like a cover on the top. I went with white. Different markets have different requirements also. Like, I know some markets, you have to have a white top. Sometimes you have to have a specific color top, and then also make sure you're able to take off the top, because I applied to a market that's upcoming this December, and one of the requirements is it's indoor, so you can't have the top of your tent on. So make sure that's easily able to like come off and stuff. Just some things that I noticed. Some markets are very specific as to what you can and can't have. A lot of markets also, especially if they're outside, recommend that you have weights for your tents. So you guys can either use like actual weight, you guys could use like sandbags. I know I've seen people use cement blocks, but you're most likely going to need some type of weight to hold down your tent. And then also for your tent, you can either just buy the tent, or you can also buy the tent that has walls. I recommend, this is the mistake I made. When I bought my tent, I bought a tent without walls. And these are just walls that you can easily like attach to like the sides of your tent to like inbox it and like close it off. And I highly recommend these, especially if you're doing 2-day markets and you have to like leave your setup. It's so much easier because you can close off your space and you can ensure that no one's going to be getting into your stuff. And then also, I recommend walls because sometimes when you're at markets, everyone is like back to back. I typically don't put my side walls up, but the ones behind me, I'll put like my back wall up because there will be another vendor directly behind me. It's a little awkward. So I always put my back wall up. And then also, once again, I live in Florida. It gets really hot, and depending on your spot, the sun can really be beaming on you if you're outside. So the walls also can help, like if the sun is beaming and you need like protection from the sun. So so I mentioned the tent walls, your tent weights. You're obviously going to need your chairs to sit on if you want to sit. You could obviously always stand if you want to, but I bring chairs to sit. And then next up, you're going to need your tables. You can get 4-foot tables, 6, 8. Me, I think I use 6. No, I'm lying. I think I have 4. You know what? I have no idea. But I have 3 tables. And I think they're 4-inch, I want to say. And I definitely want to get bigger ones because obviously the bigger your tables are, the more stuff you can display on your table. So you're going to want to have your tables, and then you're also going to want to have tablecloths. And once again, the tablecloths are preference to whoever's marketing. I've had people who they don't care what kind of tablecloths you have. Some people, you need to have the tablecloths that like hook over and like fit over your table to hide the legs. So once again, in your application, it'll tell you if there's any requirements on that. But me, I have the fitted tablecloths. They're just simple black that you go and they fit over the table and they hide the legs. So I have those tablecloths. Then next up, you're gonna need your display. What are you gonna use to display your stuff? As you guys know, those crates that are back there are actually what I use at my market to display my stuff. And it also works because when I'm not at markets, I can have them displayed back here. And if you guys see, I also have like that shelf right there. And I also have a bunch of shelves just like that and similar ones. But I mainly use 1, my crates. 2, I have like little shelves like that, kind of like spice racks and different variations of spice racks. And then I also use like these little wired baskets from the Dollar Tree. They're just simple like rectangle ones that perfectly fit like 3 plushies, 3 in 2 rows. And it perfectly fits 6 plushies in there. And then next is what you're going to use to price your items. So with those wired baskets specifically, at Dollar Tree, you can also get like these little tags. Like the little, what are they called? Like you can clip them onto the basket and you can write on them. So next up, you're gonna need some type of system for pricing your stuff. Signs are really good, but also things that you can just clip right onto like display so people can obviously see what things are. I'll either like tape little signs to baskets, or I'll clip signs onto baskets, and then everything in the basket I will have like the same price, so it's easy for any customers to just come read and find the price on their own. So guys, we discussed, we have our tables, our tablecloths, and now we have all our stuff that we're going to need to bring to display our plushies. I also have like kind of like a stand that I use. It's from Walmart. A lot of people use this one and I highly recommend it because it's also cheap. It's like cheaper. I think it's like $16 and it's fully collapsible. Guys, when you guys are buying your stuff for your market, for instance, all these crates, right? You're like, wow, Haley, that's a lot of crates. But the good thing about these crates is that they all fit into each other. When you go to like buy your market stuff, it's highly crucial for stuff to be able to fold, be flat, so that you can actually pack them efficiently in your vehicle to go to the market. So definitely whenever I'm looking for displays and stuff for markets, I make sure that they can take up as less space as possible, but also to make sure that they're easy to set up at a market. So like this spice rack I have right here, it's not that big, and then I have like multiple, I have 4 of them, and I can stack them on top of each other and they just fit perfectly. Once again, my wired baskets, those all fit into each other. All of these crates, they all fit into each other. And it just makes everything so much easier also when transporting your stuff from your vehicle to your market spot. And next thing, a wagon. A wagon I think is crucial to help transport your stuff as well. So that's the basic stuff. So you have obviously your tent, that's where you're going to be setting up your tables, tablecloths, and then all of your market displays. So other than just that basic stuff, you're also going to need some type of bag. So when I went to my first ever market, I didn't offer bags, and so many people were asking, and I didn't even think of it. But definitely having bags, I use like little paper bags, and then I'll put like a logo sticker of my business. And then also obviously you're gonna also need business cards. You can have them displayed across like your setup. And then also the thing with giving bags is also you can slip like a business card in there to obviously get people to maybe come back if they want to. And then lastly, you're gonna need a cash box. I got this cute little pink one off of Amazon. It is literally so cute. But a little cash box, so obviously that you can place your cash, and so that obviously you can take cash if people are able to pay in cash. And then you're also gonna need, I prefer a Square reader. So a Square reader, you can get one from free off of Square, or I believe you can order one from Amazon. But it's like a little square that you hook up to your phone. Like you literally just like connect it to like the adapter on your phone, and with that you're able to take card payments. You're able to take you're able to take card payments. And if you have like an Apple device, through the Square app you're also able to take Apple Pay, which is honestly super convenient. Like that's the easiest payment that I'm able to take, because with the Square reader you do need to swipe the cards, and sometimes it's like if the card is like damaged and you have to like swipe it straight and stuff, it can be a little difficult. So it's a bonus that it also offers Apple Pay, because it's so easy, just to tap in the ding and you're literally done. Lastly, this is definitely optional, and I didn't get this right away, is a banner. Like I have this huge banner. It came a lot bigger than I thought it was, but there's this one Etsy shop that's literally so elite, literally overnight shipping for your banners, and I accidentally ordered my banner. It's huge. It's literally huge. But a banner that simply just like has my logo and like my brand name and all that. So that's definitely optional. You definitely don't need it. I know people also have like table like runners and stuff where they like print like their logo and stuff, and that's also really cute. But that's everything that I'm remembering off the top of my head to bring to markets. Obviously you're also gonna need obviously your inventory and your stock, and then also you gotta bring yourself, bring water. You're gonna need some water, bring some little snacks, and honestly you're good to go. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna talk about is like what to expect at a market. Like how's your market day gonna go, like how's it gonna flow. So like as I mentioned earlier, for most markets you can either set up like the day before, or you can set up the day of the market, like obviously before the market. So me, I always set up before the market. I never go the day before. I always go the day of the market. And typically you have to get there like 2 hours before the actual market sets up. And typically when you get there, there'll be like a coordinator that'll like help you to your spot, like sign you in. So once you get there, there's like obviously a designated spot for you to park, and then you have to bring your stuff from the parking lot all the way to your spot. And that's why a wagon is definitely helpful to help commute your stuff over to your spot. But once you get your spot, you're gonna go, typically I like to get there 2 hours before, or like as soon as you can get there, I'm literally there. And obviously go set up your space. And also the thing is like setting up as soon as possible, because let me tell you, there's people always there before the market actually starts. So if you're able to set up and have everything good and up at least 30 minutes before the market actually starts, you can start getting sales as soon as you're done and you're ready, because there will be people there. So you go, you set up, and as soon as I'm literally telling you, as you're setting up, like by the time you're done setting up, there's literally already people there looking. And then so basically that's like the one part of it. And then typically like when the market first starts, like there's already people there, and I feel like the first like hour or like hour and a half, 2 hours, they're not super fast-ish, but they're decent. I feel like whenever I'm at a market, always like 3 hours in is when like prime time, like afternoon, because most markets typically start like maybe like 10 or 11. So by the time it hits like 1 o'clock, that's always like my prime. That's when you literally have the most people coming in. So basically, guys, I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but Okay guys, I just need to recap my thoughts there because I quite literally, there was no words coming out. So one, you get there, you check in, you bring your stuff to your spot, then you start setting up, and then once the market starts, you'll get a steady flow of people coming in, hopefully, and then typically 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, like late-ish afternoon is typically when prime people are at markets. At least in my experience, that's when like one of the main primes of a market. And then obviously you go throughout your day, and depending on how the market is, also could be different how to take everything down. I know some markets, like obviously, like let's say for instance, like if you sell out, or if you need to, like I don't even know, but if you like sell out, most markets you cannot leave until the designated time. Like you cannot leave. And most people do that just for like, obviously like safety reasons of everyone there, like trying to take everything out. Most markets you cannot leave. If the market says it ends at 6, you cannot leave before 6 o'clock. A lot of markets like threaten, like if you do start packing up and if you do start leaving before the time to leave, you will not be invited back to the market. And that's just like what I've noticed from everything. So you will not catch me like breaking down before a time, because I don't want to get like banned from a market. But yeah, that's honestly expectation of like market day and how it's gonna go. It's honestly quite simple. It is very like intimidating if it's your first time, but all like the coordinators and everyone is really nice. They're all down to help. And then obviously throughout the day, you're gonna have customers, you're gonna have people who appreciate your work, some people who appreciate your work but like make comments at your pricing. You're just expect to come across different types of people when it comes to your stuff and what you're selling. Just go in with an open mind. Obviously there's chance to get positive feedback, negative feedback from comments, like whatever, but that's just an expectation, because not everybody's going to understand your craft. Not everyone's going to understand what goes into it all the time, the materials. So not everybody's going to understand your craft, and then not everyone's going to understand your pricing, and that's okay. You don't have to explain anything to anybody, but that's just the reality of what it comes with. You're going to have some people who appreciate and some others who may not as much. But that's honestly what you should like expect from a market day. And then obviously there's also weather. Taking weather into account, you can have sunny day, rainy day, cloudy day, windy day. You never know. Weather is so unpredictable, so just expect anything, and just also be ready for anything either. And that's honestly what I have to say for this section, so let's move on to the next section. Alright, so next up we have market prepping, and a big question I get all the time is, Haley, how much inventory should I bring? And personally, I think that's a question you can only answer for yourself. So I'm gonna break down how I prep and how much inventory you should bring. So what I like to tell people, just because numbers look different to everybody, and that's just how it is. Numbers, money, numbers, it's different for everybody. So this is just how I like to answer this question, and this is what I tell people for how much inventory you should bring. I tell them this is my quote, unquote, how much inventory you should bring? You should bring, if you were to sell out, would you be happy with the number you made? And that's just as simple and as straight of an honest answer I can give you. Because, like, how much inventory is, like, how much money do you want to make? Like, if you were to sell out of everything, would you be happy with that number? And that's as basic as, like, I can put it. Like, are you happy with that number? If you're not, you need more inventory. If you are, then you're good. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's as basic but of a straight up answer I can tell you, just because numbers are so different for everybody. So that's my advice on the inventory. If you were to sell out, would you be happy with that number? And that's what I like to say. But then also when it comes to market prepping, inventory also comes along with, is it a 1-day market? Is it a 2-day market? Obviously, if it's a 1-day market, you're not going to need as much stuff as a 2-day market. What I like to do, like, especially if I'm doing a 2-day market, I make sure I have enough worth of stuff for 2 days. So, like, most of the time, I'm making double the stuff. So, what I would make for one market, we're doubling it if I have a 2-day market, 3-day market. We're just doubling, because when it comes to a 2-day market, yes, you can bring everything from a 1-day market and split it for 2 days, but what if you sell out? You know what I mean? So what I like to do is I just like to double my stock, and I bring that if I have a 2-day market compared to a 1-day market. And also how to prep. I also have a YouTube video that is more in detail with how to prep and how to prep like effectively. But I'll just, I guess, do a little summary. But if you wanted a more in-depth detailed, go check out that video. But when it comes to prepping for markets specifically, what I like to tell people is focus more on your small items and like a little bit of like medium as well. Just because when people go to markets, people are going there to support small businesses, because that's what markets are, you know, markets, festival, craft fairs, all that. People are going there to support small businesses, and people want to support multiple small businesses. So people are looking to only spend maybe $10 or $15 at every little like booth they like. Sometimes maybe people can only have enough to spend $5 at whatever tent they like, or $10 or $15. You never know, right? So what I like to do, especially because of what my craft is, crocheting, I like to focus on smaller items, and I'll have the most smaller items. I also have like a handful of medium-sized items, and then I'll bring just a couple bigger sized items as well, just because you never know the audience that you're gonna come across. But I like to focus on my little things, on my things that are $5, $8, $12, and $15. Those are the items I like to prioritize the most. So when it comes to prepping, I like to prep according to my my layout of like my display layout, and that's how I like to prep. So now that I've been doing markets for a little bit, I know where I like to put certain plushies, like in whatever crates or containers or what are these called, shelves. Like I know where I like to, like I know how I like to display my items. So obviously I know how much stuff can fit in that display, and that's really how I go about prepping. So if where I like to put for instance, where I like to put my bees, right? It's a little tray that can fit 6 bees. So what I like to do when prepping, I will make 6 bees, and I'll make 2 extra bees. Because you know, like as things sell out, you can go and you can fill in. So what I like to do is I like to make the amount that can fit in wherever I'm displaying them, and then I'll make 2, maybe 3 extra, depending if it's like a bestseller or whatever. Then I like to make an extra, and that's how I prep. So when it comes to things like bees, mushrooms, chicks, penguins, pigs and stuff, where I display those, I display those in trays that can hold 6 of them. So for all of them, I'll make 8, 6 to display and 2 backup, just in case if I need to fill in. Things like when it comes to my chickens, where I display my chickens can hold 9 chickens, and because chickens are a little bit of a bestseller, I'll do my 9 that can fit on my display, and I'll maybe make 4 or 5 extra to fill in if those chickens sell. And that's how I like to go about my market prepping, just because at the end of the day, you also don't want to overwork yourself and do way too much. So that's how I'm able to like balance myself, because like if I can't display it all, why would I, you know? And also, you don't constantly just want to be replacing your things either, because for instance, let's say, yeah, my tray can hold 6 bees, and let's say all 6 sell out, and I go and I grab 6 more bees and I put them in there, right? That also in a way lowers your chances of other things possibly selling. You know what I mean? So let's say maybe you're having a day where, oh, like your bees are doing great, but for instance, maybe your mushrooms aren't doing great, but maybe if people don't see that you have like more bees, then maybe they'll get a mushroom, and then you also get some sales for other things like that. So I also like to take that into account when it comes to like restocking as the market day goes, which is also why I don't like to over make things, just so that I can give everything like an equal, I guess like an equal chance of like selling. When it comes to like actually prepping for a market, I like to do the assembly line method, and this is where you'll make all the parts or all the bodies, and then you'll go back and do For instance, let's say you'll go and you'll make all the bodies, then you'll make all the parts, and then you'll go and you'll add all the eyes, and then all this stuff in, and then you'll sew them all, and then that's personally how I like to do it. That's what is most effective for me, and that's honestly, I'm just able to get the most things done that way. And so let me give you an example. For instance, let's say when I make my bees, right? So bees, you need 2 colors, yellow and black, or whatever color you're doing, really, right? So I'll go and I'll make all the bodies, just the bodies. I'll go, let's say I'm making 10, right? If on my market list I need to have 10 bees, I'll make 10 bee bodies, lay them down, 10 bee bodies. Then I'll go and I'll make all the 20 wings. I'll go and I'll make all 20 wings. Then, okay, I have my 10 bodies, my 20 wings done. Then I'll go and I'll add all the eyes to all my bees. And then after I add all the eyes, I'll add all the stuffing, and then I'll sew them all shut. Then after that, I'll go and I'll sew on all the wings, and then I'll go in and add the blush for all of them. And that's what the assembly line method is. You go part by part for everything, and that's just honestly what works for me. Some people, that just doesn't work for them, but for me, I'm able to crank out I'm just able to crank things out with that method. Like, I don't know, it's just like, for me, when I'm doing the same pattern over and over again, it's like drilled into my brain. Like, my brain is like so focused on it, and I feel like I'm just able to work so much more faster. And then also the good thing about the assembly line method, I'm talking way too fast. Let me slow down. But good thing also about the assembly line method is that you can also crank out all your things at once, so then you're done. You don't have to do them anymore. You're done with them. You can move on. And I really like that. For instance, for plushies you don't enjoy making, that's okay. You can get them all done in one sitting, and you don't even have to look back. Throw it over your shoulder. You're done. Don't need to go back to that. So that's honestly how I prep. And yeah, if you guys just want more detail and all that, definitely check out my how to market prep effectively video. I have that posted over on my YouTube as well. Alright guys, now we're gonna talk favorite market patterns, best sellers, so I can give you guys a little something on that. So some of my favorite market patterns, let me think. When it comes to market prep pattern, whoa, Etsy, a little bit loud. But when it comes to prepping for market prep patterns are like things you can get done in like 30 minutes or less. And those are my go-to patterns. Those are things that I sell for $5 or $8 or like whatever. Those are patterns that I focus on. So some of my favorite market prep patterns, definitely all from Jade. She has a shark, a whale, a few octopi, I think. She has a jellyfish, and all of those are highly market prep friendly, and I love those. Those are good staples to make. Also, I think bees are really good things to market prep. Oh, these little pocket frogs, you can see them back there. Those guys literally take 10 minutes. My octo pattern, I like to do that one. Those ones also take about 10 minutes. Also, the Oak and Marlowe chicken pattern, that one's a really good staple, one of my favorite to prep. I wouldn't say leggy frogs. Leggy frogs are, some people really enjoy them, but there's definitely leggy frogs. And then I also love to prep the mushrooms, the little chunky mushrooms. And those are some of my go-to, especially all from Jade. She's literally go-to. I love all her patterns. Best sellers. So I know I've talked about this a little bit on here, and definitely if you guys do markets, please comment down below what are your best sellers so that I can look into them, because I feel like my best sellers have been changing. So when I first did markets last year in the fall, some of my best sellers were bees, frogs, dinos, chickens, mushrooms. Those guys were like my best, and also octos. Those ones were my best sellers. Those ones did really good, but now they don't do as good. Like, for instance, mushrooms, the leggy frogs, and what was it, and the bees. I had such a hard time selling those during like my spring markets. those ones absolutely, they don't do good. I swear, I stopped bringing the Lecky Frogs, and I was able to sell those online, but the bees and the mushrooms, I kid you not, I have not sold one at like my last 3 markets. I don't know what it is. I think they're just so basic, and a lot of people already have them or seen them, so maybe people are just not liking them as much. But now, at my last market that I did, or like my latest couple of markets, I noticed cats. Cats do so good. They sell out almost every single time. So I make like these little cats. I make little tiny cats that I sell for $8. Then I have like a bigger, like medium-sized cat that I sell for $15. And then you have like, you know, the traditional chunky loaf cat. But cats do so good. I started bringing little baby turtles. Those ones are also selling good. Axolotls have been selling good. My dinos still do pretty good as well. And the chickens. Chickens do good still too. And then I noticed at my last market, I've never bought these before, but penguins. At my last market, I sold out of penguins, and I thought that was so unexpected because I've never bought them before. But those are some of my best sellers now. But once again, if you guys do markets, please comment your best sellers, because I need to figure out what to make this market season. So please, if you guys do markets, please comment down below your best sellers, or like things I should try, like market prep patterns that you guys recommend. Also leave those in the comments so I can check those out, because guys, we're all gonna be entering market season very soon, guys. My first market isn't until November, which is kind of sad that it's so far away, but my first market is the weekend of November 9th. And then I'm still waiting to hear back for a market that's on the weekend, I think of the 23rd and the 24th of November. And then I got into, and that one's a 2-day market. And then I got into a 2-day market in December. I think it's the first weekend of December. I think it's the 7th and the 8th. So those are some markets that I'm looking forward to doing, which means I have to prep. If I get into all the ones I'm looking into, I just need to wait for one more market, and if I get into it, that means I need to prep for 5 days worth of markets, which is why I'm starting my market prep now. I've already started. I'm gonna film a separate video, a separate series on me market prepping for all 5 of these markets. But if you guys don't know, I am a college student and classes started this week. Guys, I'm so sad about that. I'm so sad. I can't just spend my days rotting away in my bed crocheting. I actually have to go to school. It's so sad, but I started school this week, which means my crocheting time is going to decrease rapidly, which is why I'm getting a head start now, even though my first market isn't until November. And I also have to prep for 5 days worth of markets. So I'm starting my prep now. So I'm going to make a little series of me prepping, and I hope you guys enjoy that. But I also hope that you guys enjoyed this video. So yeah. Last thing I would like to add that I have not stated in this video, when it comes to doing markets, I get this question. I've gotten this question a few times. You could most definitely go and do a market by yourself. Like, you can definitely do it. You can definitely manage to do it by yourself. I have not done a single market by myself. I always at least have 1 or 2 people there helping me with my stuff, just because it's easier for me, less anxiety, less stress. I always have at least 1 or 2 people I bring with me to my markets to help me, because I definitely could do it by myself, but it's just such a better feeling having help setting up throughout the day, taking down, and then you also have someone to talk to throughout the whole market. So I did get that question, so I did want to add that in there. You definitely could pull off you can definitely do one by yourself. Like, you could do it, but I don't want to say that I recommend doing it with someone else. Just having another person there to help you out is definitely gonna take some stress and pressure off of you for a big market day. So that's the last thing I wanted to add in there. Alright guys, so we've reached the end of this video. I hope it was very informative and you guys were able to learn some things. But if you guys have questions I didn't answer, or things that you want me to like talk on more. Definitely, if you have any other comments, concerns, questions, drop them in the comments and I would love to answer those for you guys. You guys know I love yapping and talking and da-da-da. And if you guys have any more questions, literally go find me on TikTok. I'm always on TikTok live. If you guys have questions, go. I can literally give you detailed stuff, information over there. Which I also want to point out, so many of you guys have been coming to my TikTok lives and commenting that you guys came from YouTube. Like, what? Guys, I've been so surprised by so many new people. Like, you guys are literally freaking awesome. If you guys don't know, my what is it called, my TikTok and my Instagram and stuff, they're all linked down below. Come vibe with me on TikTok. If you guys know, TikTok is my biggest platform. I go live on TikTok now. I used to do every day, but I can't now with school. So I'm always on TikTok live now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then sometime throughout the weekend. I'm always live for like an hour and a half. Anytime for between like an hour and a half and 3 hours, I will be on TikTok live with you guys. I crochet with you guys, give you guys a tea, talk to you guys, da, 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 da. Sometimes I'm on with my crochet friends, my little besties. But if you guys just want more me, you guys want to talk to me, you guys want to come for the vibes, you guys want to hang out, you want to meet other awesome freaking crocheters, guys. I have so many awesome crochet friends over there. Like, so many awesome freaking people. I'm so grateful for them. But go give me a follow on TikTok down below. Go give me a follow. Same name as my TikTok. I mean, oh my god, same name as my YouTube name, guys. It's honestly such a vibe over there, and I'm so happy, so thankful. So many of you guys have been going over there and telling me that you guys literally come from YouTube. Like, that's literally insane. It's actually insane to me. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, guys. Please do a girl favor and subscribe, guys. I've been trying so hard on YouTube, and I hopefully you guys can tell, but I've been really trying. But yeah, guys, I hope you liked this video. If you guys have any more questions, concerns, don't be afraid to reach out or comment. And guys, now I'm gonna start market prepping, so you guys are gonna see a market prep series very soon. And yeah, guys, so bye everyone. Bye.